Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start a new series where we're going to build an actual IoT device from concept all the way to an actual product. We're going to be building a residential thermostat. In this video, this is the first one, and basically we're starting this, we used a live stream and recorded it. It was the first time we were live streaming with multiple presenters on Discord. It turned out to be just a disaster. We moved over to Zoom. At any rate, the audio is terrible. There were a couple of people on the call. The only person that actually got recorded was me because I screwed up. Jorge, I do have some vocal track from him, but it sounds like this.
The indoor temperature.
And that's even with me turning the gain way up. So I've edited what I could together to give you an idea. The hope is that in future versions, we don't screw it up quite so badly. With that, let's get started with the video. I was thinking what we need to do is what will be interesting for the overall community. You know, we're trying to build community for this, right? I want to build up something for .NET developers, people who know C#, know how to write code. We don't want to try to teach code, but the people that don't know anything about hardware are very little, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, one of the best ways to do that is let's think of a thing and just build a thing from here's the concept, here's how we scope it, here's how we build the apps, here's how we wire everything, all the way to the end where we have a thing that we can actually install and it does something, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking a thermostat works pretty well for that, right? Most people have a thermostat. It is something that's functional. It's not, you know, stupid simple, right? It's not just, oh, read a temperature and like put it on the screen. We're going to build something that actually does something in the real world. The one thing that I was thinking is for hardware, we can use the YoshiPi, right? Because, and the reason we want to use this over, say, like Project Lab is because it's got relays. I don't know if you know how thermostats work internally. They have a 24 volt AC line that comes to them, and it's actually not clean 24. I've seen it as high as like 32.
Yeah.
But so they've got an AC signal that comes in and you route that to, you basically connect it to either the heat. Usually they have heat, cool, and fan, but most of the newer ones have, as soon as you apply it for heat or call for cool, it turns the fan on by itself. But we've got two relays, so we could do heat and cool, and we could just wire the fan into the same thing because, you know, if I turn on heat, I want fan as well. And they don't have a lot of current draw, so the relay on the YoshiPi will work really well. We've got a nice touch screen interface that we can use. It has, you know, the microbus, so we can put like a temp sensor on there, like a click temp sensor, something like that. And it's got some buttons. So I was thinking what we could do is we could collaborate on this. Say you, me, and Adrian, and build this app, and you know, maybe even have like, if it is on Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever, something like a phone app that you could see what the temperature is and turn the set point up and down. Just some simple things like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was hoping you would do maybe the design work.
Yeah.
And maybe do some user interface work. And the nice thing there is you can do those and, you know, record that and put it on your channel, and we can just do cross-channel collaboration on all this and then aggregate everything together. Let's at least get a list of some of the features that we're thinking we want to do. Obviously, we want to turn on and off heating and cooling.
Yeah.
We want a touch interface. We're going to use the YoshiPi because it has relays. We'll use a microbus temp sensor. Initial one, we will probably have battery maybe. The challenge here is that we get 24 volt AC from the thermostat wires, right? Now, ideally, and in fact, what I'll probably want to do at some point is let's create a 24 volt AC to 5 volt DC converter that we can plug into the proto area on it, right? So that we can power it right from those wires. who knows, maybe when we get done with this, we can spin a board that is specifically designed for this, that isn't quite so large, that we can, hide some of the things, like, put something behind the display and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that is part of delivering a full IoT solution, is at the end, taking all your prototype stuff and putting it together into one thing.
Yeah. I don't have a heat pump though, so I don't have cooling. I only have the
That it didn't even occur to me, but like, if you only have heat, we need to be able to handle that, and maybe that's in some sort of a configuration.
Yeah.
So what we would have is, we've got a set point. I want it to be at this temperature. There's another thing called a dead band that you have to set, because let's say we want it to be 70 degrees, right? Or whatever. If it's trying to cool to that, and as soon as it goes below it to like 69.9, it would shut off, and then it fluctuates and comes back up to 70, and it goes, oh, I got to turn back on again, and it'll sit there and go on and off. So you have typically like a half a degree or a 1 degree dead band. So if we're cooling to 70, it'll actually drive it all the way down to 69, 1 degree below that set point, and then stop, and then let it come back up beyond it. So it's called a dead band. It's a range at which it doesn't make a transition.
Yeah.
It just keeps it from clicking on and off and doing things like that. In fact, we should probably have a safeties, right?
Yeah.
No setting to 120 or 0, right? Especially if you've got like a gas furnace, it's really, really hard on that gas valve to have it like, turn on and off, on and off, on and off really quickly.
Yeah.
For a resistive load or something like that, it's probably not bad. A heat pump, it's probably also as bad, because it needs to turn on the compressor, and you don't want to turn it on and turn it off and turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'd want some sort of a safety to prevent that.
You can also put scheduling there.
Sure.
That should be pretty easy.
Yeah. I think scheduling is a great idea. And we can start with really simple, like, every day do this, or even go as fancy as weekdays and weekends or whatever.
Yeah.
We can make it as complex as we want, but I think starting with simple is a way to go.
So I'll put a history there with like a little chart.
Yeah, I like that. We could do a little chart that shows like the temperature over the last hour or the last day or something. Yeah. That concludes our first meeting for the YoshiPi. We were just discussing basically how to put together what it is that we're going to build. I'm going to edit this down, put it into a video format, and publish it on YouTube. If it's a mess, well, I apologize. This is the first one, so we're trying to get a feel for how to build these. If you'd like to follow along, I'll put some links to the repositories and things like that down in the description below this video. Otherwise, thanks for watching.